What's up, guys? We're going to be doing some mods to the WR, get it a bit more bush ready, a bit better suited. Yeah, first things first, we've got some foot pegs that are meant to drop down and back. See how they go. So we went for the fastway pegs for this one. So they, as you can see, they come in the peg actually just has a mount that's only, you know, the width of the mount of a regular peg. But what that allows you to do is the pin that goes through for the actual pin that secures it to the mount, you can mount it in the low boy position, which essentially just moves the cleat all the way down to the bottom of the mount, which is supposedly meant to give you about 10 mil down and back. So we've got the tape measure here, we'll do some measurements, we'll check exactly sort of how much it does move them from some set points, and yeah, gives us a bit of an idea of how much better they are. Obviously we're both really, really tall, and this bike, the rider triangle, the seat height compared to the pegs is a bit short. We find our knees sit a bit high, so we're really hoping that this helps a lot with that. So from about the top of that bolt, we're at about, call that 295, and then from the axle forwards to the center of the peg is about 585. So let's see how much difference this makes. Just like that. Yeah. So the instructions tell you to set without the spring, the stopper, to get it level, because in the low boy position, your stopper misses the actual foot for it on the hinge, or on the mount, I should say. So you leave the spring out, set your stopper to get your actual peg level.
Well, they're saying that like I have that set there, you can actually shim it so that it's not level, because as you shim it up, it tips it in to help you.
Yeah.
Help tip your legs in for knee grip.
Yeah,
so,
cool.
So I'm thinking about setting it there. That seems to have just a little bit of angle on it, and see how it feels.
Yep. So lots of adjustability. Even the actual cleats, like the grub screws they give you for the cleats, they give you different lengths. And in the instructions, it does have different ways of setting it up so that it manipulates sort of how it rides and how your foot sits. Rex is thinking at the moment, put the long ones in the center and the short ones on the edges, which allows your foot to rock, which will obviously help with, you know, gear and brake and things like that. But the instructions do have several different ways of setting the cleats up with the different lengths to get different feels. So yeah, so far looking like they should do pretty well. How's it feel with 1 foot on each?
You'd like to see the difference in height of my knees. So yeah, it makes a difference for sure.
Get the tape out. So the stock peg's actually leaned in quite a bit more, so going to put an extra shim on this and get it even further in. There's the plan. Lucky you can get the bolt in and out without having to pull the peg off.
Yeah, I feel like it would have been easier to put the peg in like this and then put that bolt in.
Yeah.
Then struggle to put the
without so much spring tension on it. Yeah. No, for the other side now. So you can see from here, even with that extra washer in it, it's still a lot flatter than the standard pegs, tilted a lot further towards the bike. Might even try some more.
Oh yeah. It definitely helps to try and tip your leg in.
Yep.
So that's that might be a bit extreme, but I think I'll start like that because it's easy enough just to take one out.
Yep. Yeah, I suppose wait until you got it where you're happy with it and then Loctite that bolt in or something.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Although yeah, because it's always against the frame, it shouldn't really come loose. But. So yeah, it's a good 5 to 10 mil down, at least. It's definitely at least 5. And then to the center of the peg, about 15.
Yeah,
15 back.
About 12, sort of, because it was basically bang on 585, wasn't it?
Yeah, on the center.
Now we're back to about 560, sort of 7-ish.
Yep. So yeah.
Like 17 and a half mil.
So they're definitely further back than down.
Yeah.
But should still help quite a bit with what we're trying to achieve for long legs and the rider triangle. So
we could probably get further down if I took a washer out, because that would let the peg come down a bit.
Yeah, cool. Rightio, peg's on. Move the brake down all the way, as far as it can go down without shortening the actual adjuster thread. but Rex just had a go of it. He reckons it feels pretty good. It's about level with the pegs, so it's about right. And the other side Rex has got sorted as well, so just moving the shifter down. But that's our low boy pegs. We'll let you know how they feel compared to stock. I've got a set for my KDM as well, which I'm going to try out, but it's at home at the moment. So we've also got some other things to go on. Just trying to get this thing a bit more sorted for the bush. So we've also got a rear disc guard, which is obviously really good for when you're getting in really gnarly rocky terrain to protect the rear disc. The plastic ones are cool for certain things, but if you smack it against a rock, not too cool. We've also got some frame protectors, and I do have some swing arm protectors as well over there, which will go on as well, just to try and keep this thing looking fresh. It's still, for the hours that are on it, it is like really, really tidy, and it's because it's mostly just been ridden motarded for the first 65 hours of its life on the road, and then for the most part the 40 hours we've put on it have mostly just been like fire trail riding and more so adventure style stuff. So now that we're starting to get into a bit more gnarly stuff, we want to make sure a lot of this is protected because it is still in really good condition. So but I won't worry about the swing arm. We're not going to worry about the swing arm protectors until we're probably going to do the rear tire pretty soon. I've got a new one over there for it. Really impressed with this tire as well, this Golden Tide GT 333. It's been a really good hard wearing tire, considering we've done like 40 hours of mostly just fire trail, gravel, fair bit of road, and yeah, still a little bit, like a fair bit of knob left considering the riding that it's done, and the riding that I've done in the tighter, gnarlier stuff with pretty good air pressure in that tire. It's still got heaps of grip. So really, really impressed with that tire, really happy with it. So we've got a brand new one to go on. So we'll probably do the swing arm guards when we do that. I'll have a look at them. I assume you have to take the wheel off, but maybe I'm wrong. And if you don't, maybe it's worth doing. So we're also upgrading to a lithium battery from the stock lead acid. The size difference is massive, and the weight difference is it's just incredible.
Yeah, can you see how much lighter it is?
Honestly, it's probably a good quarter. I reckon it's a quarter of the weight. And this is 220 cranking amps, so
we could weigh them.
Plenty of battery power. We do have some plans for potentially doing some more modifications in future to try and keep this thing cooler in the tight stuff, because it does get quite warm. And the thermo fan, I reckon the ECU waits till it's too hot to kick on. So there's a few other things we might do later on. So we really wanted a really good battery with heaps, you know, just heaps of power. So all right guys, I was totally wrong. You don't need the wheel off to do the swing arm guards, so they're going on, which is sweet. You can see new battery in there. Yeehaw. How good. All right, that's looking a bit more serious for the bush. Woohoo! Not bad. Still a few more mods that we've got coming for future, but as you can see, bark busters, the basket, which I actually use for my little 4.5-inch Makita chainsaw to get in and clear stuff out. Yeah, a few other things to do, but excited to see how these pegs and stuff go and how this feels. We'll let you know. We've also got some levers stashed. So there's always levers on the bike, spare stashed levers there, and some fuses and stuff in the where the battery is as well for spares. Yeah, because the other handguards aren't between it now, I was able to move it all the way out with these. So it's a lot nicer to ride with these. Righto guys, just after a quick lap around, Rex just did a lap, I just did a quick lap. Yeah, it's amazing how that little difference makes such a big difference. Doesn't seem like much, being only down, you know, not even probably quite 10 mil and back sort of nearly 20. But man, it feels totally different. So yeah, we like that, that's good. Righto boys and girls, looking red hot. The next thing we're going to be installing to get this thing a bit more bush ready and friendly, good old steg pegs. So I had a YZ250 back in the day with a set of these on it, and they are a game changer. I pretty much always basically told myself I'd put them on pretty well every other bike since then. They make it so much easier on your arms, which for me with my arm injury obviously helps a great deal, but they also just promote good body positioning, which does help a great deal. They really, really are cool. So we're a big fan of them. People love them and hate them. We like them, so we bought them for this thing. So they're going on at the moment. And then the next mod after that we'll be looking at is, we've got some radiator braces there. However, I'm still waiting on the second thermo fan that's coming, because I have some ideas to get this thing basically running a lot cooler in the real tight stuff. It is an inherent issue. It's very common. People with WRs all complain about it, how hard these things are to start once they get real hot, and they do get real hot when they get off in the bush. Just being a 4-stroke, and like we talked about, the thermo fan not really cutting in from the ECU, I reckon, while it's cold enough. So we are planning on doing a second thermo and a switch for the second one, so that you can turn it on and off at your leisure, and then potentially even an electric water pump if that isn't going to cut it on its own. So we've got a few ideas and a few things to sort out, which is a lot to do with why we upgraded the battery. But yeah, look at these things, look how good. These things are super easy to fit as well. They take probably, I don't know, 5 minutes if that, just to fit them up. They're so simple and easy, and they're such a good little modification. So that's this side, all mounted up. And Rex has just about got this side sorted.
Oh, I do need that.
Yeah. So they are just a simple puck that you can lock your boot into. They're made and designed in Australia. The idea came from an Australian bloke. And the pucks are movable. They are slotted, so you can move them forward and back at your, you know, to your desired position where you want them. They do make different designs. They do make designs that actually locate the peg further back. They also make pucks that are about twice the size, like they'll stick out about 2 or 3 times as far. And a lot of the desert racing guys use these, because obviously for that you're a lot further hanging off the back most of the time, and you need something with a bit more purchase to really lock your legs in. But it sort of just locks into the top of your boot. It's not something you really feel. It's not something you really notice, or there's anything annoying. It's just sort of a lot easier when you're gripping with your boots and your knees, that it gets to the point where it just sort of stops. And then for people like us being real tall, it's real handy because it takes a lot of weight off your arms. And then obviously being real tall, it's very hard for us to grip with our knees, because our knees are usually really high off the seat. So it just helps heaps. Makes a huge difference. So, you know, there are other options. We can go to really tall seat foams and stuff like that, but the problem with that is you're raising your center of gravity on the bike when you're sitting, which can make it feel a bit funny for cornering and things like that. Not to mention, if you're in the hard stuff, and yeah, the higher you got your seat, the harder it is to sort of paddle and use your legs to get over some obstacles and stuff like that. So ideally we like to do everything we can before going to tall seat foam. And yeah, dropped foot pegs, steg pegs are a really good start to, you know, trying to get this thing set up ergonomically much better for someone like us. And we had the young fella's electric balance bike arrive. So yeehaw, we'll get this assembled. And he probably needs a little bit more practice on his pedal bike before he can get on it, but at least it's here, it's going to be ready to go. Righto guys, so yesterday afternoon Rex and I went for our first little ride since we did all those modifications, and both of us are stoked. So the pegs, you can definitely feel how much lower your center of gravity is through the bike. A lot more grip, a lot more load on the rear wheel. Feels way better to ride. Rex really likes the Stegs. Helps out heaps with the big 450 and the power delivery of that. I'm still pretty convinced that I'm not really going to need mine, so I'm going to try and sell them. But yeah, absolutely wrapped on the foot pegs mostly, and how much difference those things make. And then obviously all the protection stuff is just protection stuff. But anyway, cheers for watching. See you on the next one. Peace out. See you. Bye.